since the author who you are subpoenaing and seeking to hold in contempt articulated the view that there was executive interest and potential privilege over this material, you haven't sought to engage over the weeks since you received that communication?
We have not engaged with the White House since the letter on the 25th of this month, 2 days ago.
And prior to that time, did you engage the White House in an effort to obtain these materials?
All kinds of engagements with our counsel and counsel, both
I'm talking about
Justice Department and White House with our counsel over the last several months relative to the special counsel
this subpoena, Mr. Chairman. Did you engage with the White House at any time in the last several weeks since issuing this subpoena, the one you want to hold this witness in contempt for? Did you ever engage with the White House in an effort to accommodate, an effort to reach an agreement, an effort to prevent this from having to be litigated? Did you ever write any correspondence, make any call to the White House?
Adam Schiff just snapped at Jim Jordan during a congressional hearing, and it backfired instantly. Schiff tried to twist the rules, play victim, and hide behind legal jargon, but Jim Jordan exposed him for exactly what he is. You have to see this exchange to believe how fast Schiff gets shut down. Before we break it all down, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss the truth the mainstream media won't show you. Let's dive in.
Gentleman from California withdraws point of order who seeks recognition. Gentleman from California is recognized.
Mr. Chairman, much as I don't like certain parts of the Mazur decision, it clearly applies in this case, and the committee is required to engage with the White House in order to seek an accommodation over materials held by a private party, as they were in the Mazur's case, and seek to resolve this with the White House. So I would ask unanimous consent that we enter into the record your correspondence to the White House.
Without objection.
Seeking to engage them to resolve this. And I thank the chairman for not objecting. Can you produce that correspondence to the White House asking for accommodation on these materials you've sought by this subpoena?
First time they reached out to us was 2 days ago.
Yes, and of course the author expressed the concern that these materials may implicate interests of the executive. I think that was weeks ago. But having admitted without dissent your correspondence to the White House, can you produce that for us where you have sought an accommodation, where you've sought to work this out with the White House? Can you share that with us since that is now part of the record?
Well, I thought you had it. You wanted to enter it into the record.
I do. I presume that, knowing your responsibilities, you have sought to engage the White House. So,
Mr. Chairman, point of order.
Produce the
recognized for point of order.
I think a unanimous consent request to submit something to the record is where the person who's asking for the floor is the proponent of submitting information that member has. I don't believe it's appropriate to ask a unanimous consent request to engage in a colloquy over discovering information or obtaining information from another member of the committee.
Great, and that's why I said that no objection to the unanimous consent request. If the gentleman from California wants to talk about that and present it to us, God bless him. He's allowed to do it. So it's 5 minutes.
I would like clarification from the chairman. Does this mean that there is no correspondence from you to the White House seeking accommodation on this material?
We've had all kinds of correspondence with the White House on this broad subject relative to the Zwanitzer and the letter we got 2 days ago. We've not corresponded with the White House yet. If we will, we may. That's a decision we'll make.
And you have not corresponded with the White House seeking accommodation ever since the author who you are subpoenaing and seeking to hold in contempt articulated the view that there was executive interest and potential privilege over this material? You haven't sought to engage over the weeks since you received that communication?
We have not engaged with the White House since the letter on the 25th of this month, 2 days ago.
And prior to that time, did you engage the White House in an effort to obtain these materials?
All kinds of engagements with our counsel and counsel.
I'm talking about
Justice Department and White House with our counsel over the last several months relative to the special counsel
this subpoena, Mr. Chairman. Did you engage with the White House at any time in the last several weeks since issuing this subpoena, the one you want to hold this witness in contempt for? Did you ever engage with the White House in an effort to accommodate, an effort to reach an agreement, an effort to prevent this from having to be litigated? Did you ever write any correspondence, make any call to the White House seeking to engage, seeking to get these materials that you're seeking from the author instead from the White House. Did you ever do that, Mr. Chairman?
We're seeking documents from a private individual who I might add tried to destroy the evidence.
I guess the question is, I guess the answer is no.
Since
I guess the answer is no.
The answer is since 2 days ago, I'm not
asking the question about since 2 days ago, although nothing prevented
That's when they first raised the concern.
Nothing prevented you from writing a letter within the last 2 days or reaching out to the White House before this.
Now you want me to be clairvoyant and read the White House's mind and write a letter before they tell us something?
Nothing prevented you from seeking these materials from the White House.
California is known
for months, Mr. Chairman. For months.
I'm not a mind reader.
I thank you for making a very clean record for any court that will look at this.
The gentleman from North Carolina said months ago the White House could have raised the concern, and they didn't.
These documents, because your first move, of course, is to go right to contempt. Ironically, of course, for a chairman who was in contempt of his own subpoena.
Point of order, Mr. Chairman.
We're still waiting for you to testify and meet the obligations of your own subpoena, Mr. Chairman. But nevertheless, I appreciate you're making such a clean record for any court in this case that you have never sought an accommodation, never written to the White House, never called the White House, never had a communication with the White House in order to obtain these materials as part of an accommodation. Thank you for that very clean record for the court, and I yield back.
Gentleman yields back. Who seeks recognition?
Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. If you love hearing the truth the mainstream media refuses to talk about, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and ring that notification bell so you never miss a video. Today we're talking about the absolute meltdown Adam Schiff had when Congressman Jim Jordan called him out during a committee hearing. The video titled "Adam Schiff Snaps at Jim Jordan" instantly gets shut down, shows exactly what happens when a career politician gets cornered by the truth. So here's what went down. The transcript shows Schiff trying to spin some legal nonsense about the Mazars case, claiming the committee had to seek an accommodation with the White House before pushing forward with subpoenas. But Jordan wasn't having it. He pressed Schiff hard, asking if he had ever actually reached out to the White House to resolve the issue. Schiff danced around the question, mumbled about letters and communications, and finally admitted, only 2 days ago. 2 days. After weeks of pushing for contempt against someone who supposedly didn't comply. Jordan made it crystal clear. Schiff never even tried to work with the White House. No outreach, no negotiation, nothing. Just another rush to punishment and political theater. And when Jordan pressed harder, Schiff got defensive, throwing procedural points around and trying to hide behind technicalities. Classic DC move. But you could tell Jordan wasn't letting him off the hook. He made sure the record showed that Schiff had no case, no credibility, and no respect for the process. Now let's talk about what this really means. Schiff has spent years pretending to be the guardian of accountability, while running cover for every shady move the left makes. Remember his "I have evidence" stunt during the Russia hoax? Years later, nothing. He's the face of hypocrisy in Congress. Jim Jordan, on the other hand, represents what real oversight looks like. He's not afraid to confront the establishment, to ask tough questions, and to force these bureaucrats to live by the same standards they impose on everyone else. Schiff snapped because he got exposed. Simple as that. This exchange also shows the deep divide in Washington. The left wants total control, no questions asked. The right wants transparency, accountability, and truth. And when the truth hits too close to home, guys like Adam Schiff lose it. To me, this was more than just a heated argument. It was a symbol of what's at stake. We need leaders who won't bow to the DC elite. We need voices like Jim Jordan who will call out corruption wherever it hides, because if we don't, people like Adam Schiff will keep abusing their power unchecked. So when you see Schiff snapping and Jordan calmly holding the line, remember. That's the difference between politics as usual and real American leadership. That's my take, patriots. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Was Jim Jordan right to press Schiff like that? And do you think this will finally open more eyes to how corrupt this whole process has become? If you liked this breakdown, give this video a thumbs up, share it with your friends, and make sure you're subscribed for more unfiltered commentary that tells it like it is. Thanks for watching, and as always, stay strong, stay free, and God bless America.